China hits back against President Trump. The tussle over tariffs as a new battle heats up that could lead to a full-out trade war that could hit your wallet.
Spring warmth in winter continues for now. We'll show you the chillier, wetter weather to come this weekend.
A young man's arrest unearthing a series of alleged crimes committed against children, the case that has Austin's public health agency working with police.
Austin police arrested a 20-year-old accused in multiple sexual abuse cases involving underage children, and detectives think there may be more victims. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Marin.
And I'm Jennifer Sanders. Our Jayla Washington is following this story, and Jayla, Austin Public Health is also involved in all of this. Why is that?
Yeah, well, this is something that we really don't ever see, right? APH publicly working with APD, getting involved in a case like this. And in these specific sexual assault cases, they say that they are going to be contact tracing, really making sure that they can get to the bottom of what is going on here. Now, this 20-year-old who is accused of abusing these underage kids, his name is KXAN French Burton. Police say he lied about how old he was when he got in touch with the kids between the ages of 12 and 17 on Snapchat and Instagram. In some cases, he said that he was 16 years old. That is according to these court documents that we pulled. Now, police say the incidents happened between November and December last year, and he is facing some pretty serious charges. First and secondary felonies for sexual abuse of a child and sexual assault of a child. Those court documents also have some details that are just simply too gruesome to share here on air. But I can tell you, in one of those incidents, documents say he sexually assaulted an underage 15-year-old in his car behind a school.
I can't place a number on the total of how many people he's been speaking with. I can just say that it's several at this point.
STIs are a serious public health concern, and early detection is critical.
Now, again, APH going to be working with APD to contact trace any sexually transmitted infections that might be specifically connected with this. They're not confirming whether or not French Burton actually has an STI or what that STI could be for that matter. But again, it isn't often that we see APH and APD taking this sort of urgency to get the word out there, openly saying that they're going to be contact tracing in a sexual abuse case like this, guys.
And Jayla, is there any information you can tell us about the victims or where this all may have taken place?
Yeah, well, all of those survivors are females. We know that much. That is according to police. And French Burton is also facing charges in Hays County. Court documents say that AISD police also was involved in one of these cases. And we know that per these court documents that French Burton is also accused of taking those who he allegedly abused back to his home and even showing up to the home of one of those survivors. And as you all mentioned earlier, they do think there may be more victims, so they are asking any families impacted to reach out to them.
Okay, Jayla, thank you very much for that. And going in depth on this, both Snapchat and Instagram do have safeguards to keep their younger users safe. For example, both have proactive detection tools used to find accounts promoting inappropriate content, I should say, as well as confidential reporting of questionable posts. Instagram also has more safeguards, such as age verification protections from suspicious adults and private accounts for those under the age of 18.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Another unusually warm February day for us, but a beautiful day at that from the Covert Bee Cave Auto Mall camera there in Bee Cave with sunshine and just a few clouds around. Temperatures in the hill country actually down over yesterday thanks to two things. More humidity and a nearby cold front just to the northwest. Richland Springs just in the 60s right now, yet most of you are in the low 80s, but some of you are in the upper 80s at this time yesterday. In the metro, upper 70s and low 80s, slightly cooler than we were 24 hours ago. And then in our eastern counties, low to mid 80s as well. Just sunshine and a few scattered clouds out there now, making for a lovely yet slightly muggy evening. We'll be down to 74 here at 7, 70 at 9, and then those low clouds start to thicken back up again as they have the last few nights, beginning at, say, 10, 11 o'clock. Coming up in First Warning Weather, this pattern of morning clouds and afternoon sun rolls on for now. We'll show you when upper 80s are possible before a cooler and wetter pattern comes back.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. A trade war with China is closer to reality as the two largest economies exchange retaliatory tariffs.
Now, the question NBC's Gabe Gutierrez tries to answer today is, can the two sides find common ground before American consumers see rising prices?
The U.S. and China have just days to avoid a trade war, or Americans' pocketbooks could be hit hard. China announcing next week it'll impose a tariff on energy imports, as well as some U.S. products.
That's fine. We're going to do very well against China and against everybody else.
That retaliation comes just minutes after President Trump's 10% tariff on all Chinese imports took effect. China imposing a 15% import tax on coal and liquefied natural gas, as well as a 10% tariff on crude oil, farm equipment, and various cars and trucks. And taking aim at electronics, announcing export controls on rare earths, elements essential to all high-tech products, infrared missiles, and electric car batteries. President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping now expected to talk soon.
We'll speak to him at the appropriate time. I'm in no rush.
Leaders of the world's largest economies both looking for leverage in a standoff that could have staggering global impacts. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's federal aid freeze and dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development causing confusion among those who help people in need and sparking protests.
It's not disrupting, it's destruction. And it's destruction that means that people will suffer across the country.
He promised it during his campaign. Tonight, Americans across the country and leaders around the world are feeling what the president calls his America First agenda firsthand. Meanwhile, President Trump meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his first meeting with a foreign leader here at the White House since taking office. And it comes amid an ongoing ceasefire with Hamas. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Washington.
Two sources have told NBC News that the White House is preparing an executive order to eliminate the Department of Education. One source says the order could come as soon as this month, and a separate source says the order will state that the White House will, quote, oversee the submission of proposed legislation to the Congress to effectuate closure of the department. So that source adds, quote, the goal is for the legislation to have the authority and responsibility of the department be handed to states and local districts. End quote. Legal experts say the president does not have the authority to abolish a federal agency created by Congress.
Well, today the U.S. Senate Finance Committee voted to advance Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s bid for Secretary of Health. In a 14-13 vote, the committee pushed through Kennedy's nomination. He will now head to the full Senate for final confirmation. The former Democrat has drummed up a lot of controversy in recent years. As a longtime anti-vaccine activist, public health experts and Democrats have widely opposed his nomination.
More than 1,000 employees with the Environmental Protection Agency have been told they could be dismissed immediately. The Trump administration emailed the message to about 1,100 EPA employees last week. That email was meant for workers who have been with the agency less than a year. But a representative for a government workers union says several employees with more than a year of service also received the message. So it's not clear how many EPA employees will be impacted by potential cuts.
Well, today people got a chance to share their opinions on short-term rentals in Austin. Think Airbnb or Vrbo properties. The city has had a hard time enforcing short-term rental registration, so it recently laid out plans to make it easier for officials to crack down on listings that are not registered with the city. City officials think most rentals, likely around downtown, are not licensed. So that means the city could be collecting a lot more than the $7 million a year it sees from these rentals. And then there's also the impact on people living near the properties.
This is really impacting my quality of life and the quality of life of those around me.
Forms will require hosts to provide the license number in the advertisement, and will delist properties that are not licensed.
Now, 2 more public comment hearings are scheduled for this month, and then the city is expected to take that feedback and decide what is next in the coming months. Improved mobility, the potential revamp of city streets getting closer to becoming a reality.
Another year of exponential growth measured in the hustle and bustle of the Austin airport. 2024's final passenger numbers and where it stacks up next to record-setting years. Austin City Council could adopt a plan this spring that will revamp downtown streets and mobility. The Austin Core Transportation Plan is in its final stages, reviewing the downtown area between MLK, North Lamar, Lady Bird Lake, and I-35. With major projects like I-35's expansion and Project Connect in the works, the city proposed reconfigurations to improve mass transit, pedestrian and bike mobility, safety, and through traffic. As part of the plan, 5th through 8th streets could feature reconfigurations between one-way and two-way roadways, along with protected bike lanes and more tree coverage. We do have a full street-by-street breakdown of the proposed changes at KXAN.com.
2024 will go in the history books as the second busiest year on record at Austin's airport. AUS says a total of nearly 22 million passengers passed through the gates last year. After 2 record-setting years in a row, 2024 just barely missed the mark after seeing about 333,000 fewer passengers than the year before. Although the overall year didn't set a new record, 2024 did see the busiest month of all time, with May seeing nearly 2.7 million passengers. In case you're wondering, 2023 was the busiest year at the airport at more than 22 million travelers.
We're now just 5 days away from Super Bowl 59, where the Kansas City Chiefs are aiming for a first ever consecutive three-peat.
But some fans think the team has gotten some unfair help along the way. Chris Hagan joins us now live from New Orleans with this story. Chris.
Hey, Daniel and Jennifer, you guys know me. I'm a hard-hitting journalist. I'm looking for answers. I'm asking the tough questions. Of course, we're just having a good time. But it seems like lately, the Chiefs get all the close calls, controversial calls, such as in that AFC Championship game against Buffalo when it looked like the Bills had a 4th down to keep the ball with the lead. But no, they spot the ball short, they review it and say, let's go the other way with the Chiefs. In fact, some NFL fans are taking it so seriously, they think there's a conspiracy involved and that the league is trying to protect the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
No, they're not. Nobody. No, they're not.
I mean, I know it's a conspiracy going around, but, you know, it's kind of like you see it, but you don't want to believe it, you know.
They're just hating on us. They're hating that we winning.
You seen the play against the Chiefs and the Bills, AFC Championship, when forget who intercepted it, but that was an interception, and they called it. They didn't call it.
You feel like you got to beat the Chiefs and the refs come Sunday?
Oh, yeah, we got to blow them out to win. We can't let them get the ball last at all. If we let them get it last, that's a wrap.
There's no conspiracy. There's no ref calls. There's no NFL rigged. 100% Chiefs! Three-peat, baby! Three-peat!
Yeah, opinions clearly divided between the Chiefs fans and the non-Chiefs fans, or the haters, as that one guy told me. A lot of good fun with the fans, but there is enough to it that Commissioner Roger Goodell was asked about it yesterday. He called the notion that games are rigged ridiculous, said there's no way that's going down. We'll play the game Sunday. Hopefully there are no controversial calls, and don't leave it up to any conspiracy theorists out there, and let's just have a good game and crown the rightful champion in Super Bowl 59. Reporting live outside the Superdome in New Orleans, I'm Chris Hagan.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Okay, let's talk about the sunshine.
Yes,
something that brings a smile to many people's faces.
I know, and if you like clouds, you get the clouds in the morning. If you like sun, you like getting your afternoons nice and bright with the blue sky. And that's what we've got outside right now, is a lot of that sunshine from our Lorenz 360 cam from Westlake Hills, looking toward downtown, sunshine and scattered clouds. But if you want your clouds back, they're about to come back again as moisture from the Gulf creeps back in during the overnight hours, giving way to cloudy skies. See that southeast flow coming northwest? That's helping to pump in moisture and humidity. That's why our days have been a little muggy lately, and that's why our nights get increasingly cloudy, especially a few hours after sunset. This is going to mean a cloudy start for you again tomorrow. The difference tomorrow may mean a few extra spotty showers, sprinkles, and areas of drizzle compared to what we've had the last few days. I know we've had a little drizzle. I just think we'll have a little bit more of it here tomorrow morning with a little extra moisture in the air. But I still expect that the clouds will erode during the middle of the day, giving way to a very sunny afternoon tomorrow that will push us back into the 80s. And then the clouds thicken back up at night, giving way to another cloudy beginning to your Thursday. And then the clouds will give way to increasing sun as we get into Thursday afternoon. We'll be doing this back and forth again on Friday and Saturday. So if you're liking this weather pattern, then you're going to keep liking it here into the weekend. So increasing clouds tonight, late night drizzle down to 66 here tonight. Our day tomorrow starts with the clouds and the drizzle. Then the sun comes out for the afternoon. Another warm day. 81 for the high in Austin. Remember where we should be this time of year, mid-60s. So we're a good 15, 16 degrees above average here tomorrow, and it'll be another warm breeze out of the south, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Temperatures will keep climbing. 84 Thursday, 85 Friday. Warmest day of the next 7 looks to be Saturday, and both Thursday and Saturday could tie or break record highs for the day, and there's your average at 65. So this sort of heat, this persistently, is not common for us in February. We're also going to deal with a persistent humidity. Dew points between about 60 and 65 most of the time keeps us in that muggy category until Sunday morning. Cold front comes in, brings us a temperature drop, a humidity drop, and even a little bit of rain. Slim rain chance on Sunday, but rain chances go up on Monday. And the highest rain chances look to focus on Tuesday. So some beneficial rain coming our way after a new dry stretch that we're in now. Thinking between Monday and Tuesday, when you add them up, a 1/4 inch to an inch of rain for most areas along and east of 35. And unfortunately, less than a 1/4 inch of rain for the hill country, where we need the rain the most to feed our lakes. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. There's the record high. We're expecting Thursday at 84. 85 on Friday would not be a record. Morning clouds to sun again. Morning clouds Saturday to afternoon sun up to 87, and then much cooler Sunday. It's still a mostly dry day, but we're back down to average at 65. And then Monday and Tuesday, not just increasingly wet, but chilly too. Highs only in the 50s.
Leland Vittert is bringing On Balance to prime time.
We welcome you to the Farish Network on television.
New time, same Leland.
And we never back down from the truth.
On Balance, coming to prime time next Monday at a new time, 9 Eastern on News Nation. To find News Nation, go to newsnationnow.com.
Right now, disturbing new research into how nanoparticles of plastic are making it into human brains and increasing over time. Also, bird flu and the price of eggs, how some restaurants are coping, including a surcharge on egg dishes tonight.
Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin successfully launched its new Shepard rocket from its Launch 1 site near Van Horn, Texas. The flight tested lunar-related technologies by simulating the moon's gravity inside the crew capsule. Now, this marks the 29th flight for the reusable new Shepard rocket. The mission also carried thousands of postcards on behalf of Club for the Future. That's Blue Orange's STEAM-focused nonprofit. The program allows students to write or draw their visions for the future and then launch them into space.
Waffle House is adding a 50-cent surcharge to its eggs due to the soaring egg prices caused by bird flu. So that surcharge went into effect yesterday. Waffle House says the increase is a, quote, temporary surcharge tied to the rise in egg prices, and that it will decrease or remove it as the market improves. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, more than 13 million hens have died since December due to the bird flu outbreak.
Well, NBC is all new tonight at 7 o'clock. It's St. Dennis Medical, followed by Night Court at 7:30. Then at 8, it's Deal or No Deal Island, followed by The Irrational at 9, before we're back with KXAN News at 10.
And of course, you can join us an hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 o'clock on CW Austin. Here's where to find us.